Hello ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very long day and I have managed to make a tier list for Injustice 2 Mobile in terms of raids, arena and champions arena. So we are taking everything into consideration when going forward into this list. Jigsaw Gaming did a similar list, but his list had only 36 characters if I remember it right, and Injustice 2 Mobile has 92 characters. And you know how many characters this list has? 91, because I have cropped the frame for every single character in Injustice 2 Mobile, and at the end, when counting them, I ended up with 91. I haven't found yet which character I'm missing. Maybe it's a very important character, maybe it's a useless character, but I just can't figure it out. So please let me know what character I'm missing. But anyway, we will have on this tier list 91 out of the 92 characters that are going to be in Injustice 2 Mobile, and we are going to rank them from the worst to the best. And at the same time, as I have said before, keep in mind that while doing this tier list, I have kept in mind all raids, arena and champions arena. This is not a raid specific tier list. If you're looking for raid specific tier list, then you can go to my best damage dealer for raids tier list that I will link down below in the description. But this will be a list considering everything that is out there in the game, except for campaign, because while there are some characters that can boost you through the campaign earlier, at the end of the day, any build character can do amazingly in the campaign and finish it for you. So with all that being said, this is at the end of the day just my personal opinion, and some characters might be put one tier higher or one tier lower on this list depending on your personal opinion, and that's okay. And I invite you to tell me your opinion down in the comments, as long as we can have a civil discussion about it. And we can discuss anything you guys want about any characters that you think deserve the higher or lower place on this list. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any questions that you might have related to this video or to Injustice 2 Mobile in general. And honestly, if you don't subscribe after this video, I don't know what I can do else. This has been a long day, I'm very tired, I have barely eaten anything. If you don't subscribe after this video, I give up, I don't know what to do anymore. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. And one last thing before we get into it, the most important thing actually. All the raid footage, all the amazing raid footage that you'll see in this video is not mine, but it's from 4 YouTubers. Cuddles, Redblade, Tobias Well and King Neil. All those 3 people have great YouTube channels with amazing raid footage. Of King Neil you most likely have heard, the guy is pretty big. Anyway, check him out by all means and subscribe to him. But please also check out the other 3 guys, because they have smaller YouTube channels and they are doing very quality content that you'll enjoy throughout the whole video. I'll leave links to their channels in the description and in the pinned comments, and I would really appreciate it and I would see it as a personal favor if you would go ahead and check them out and subscribe to them. This is the most important thing about this, because without their help this video would be boring as hell. If for this video there's somebody that you should subscribe to, is not me, it is them. So go ahead and check them out and leave them a subscribe and check out their videos. Links in the description and links in the pinned comment. So with all that being said, let's start with the lowest tier, which will be the F tier. So in F tier we have characters that you will use only as a new player if you randomly get them in order to progress through the arena at the first 2 or 3 seasons. After the first 2 or 3 seasons of the arena, you will 100% get rid of those characters as soon as possible, because they are bad, they are useless, and sometimes they are simply annoying to play. First up on this list we are going to have Cheetah. There's not much that I have to say about her. It's sad that we don't have a proper character for her, since she is a villain in Injustice 2. And the only character that we got for her is a gold one, and that's terrible, because her passive is going to give her armor pierce on basic attacks after using an ability. But the problem with that is that you don't usually use your basic attacks after using an ability, because that's not how Injustice 2 Mobile works. Overall, a terrible character that I don't recommend you build. Next up we have the gold variant of Black Canary, Sonic Black Canary or something, I guess. She's going to be pretty terrible, nothing to stand out in terms of her abilities, and her passive, if I remembered right, will disable the opponent's block. That is going to be useless, and she's not a character worth building. Next up we have Silver Catwoman. Silver Catwoman is a character that yet again has nothing standing out for her, and it's a shame because Catwoman is going to have very good basic attacks, and her basic attacks are going to be very fun to use, very fluent gameplay. But the problem is only one Catwoman in the game is going to be worth playing, and that will be Batman Ninja Catwoman. The Silver Catwoman is going to be totally useless to you, and you shouldn't play her on the long run. Next will be Silver Scarecrow. Silver Scarecrow is going to have something going on for him, I guess, with that ability disabled on his second ability, and maybe with his passive, but the problem is his basic attacks and combos are extremely slow, you can't chain them into a tag-in, they are simply unbearable, and he is an unbearable character to play, unfortunately. The other Scarecrow, which will be the Golden Scarecrow, has some redeeming factors about him, especially his passive, and you can just stick him in a thing and leave him there and not play him. But with Silver Scarecrow, he's not going to be a character that you can afford not to play, and you'll need to put him in a fight in order to make full use of him. And that's going to be annoying and not worth it, so don't build him. Next we have the Swamp Things, both of the Swamp Things. And I'm not even going to go through their abilities or anything that might stand out for them, because the problem with those characters is that they are one of the very few characters in the entire game, and the ones where it happens most of the times, where you sometimes can't finish your basic attack combo because your attacks are too slow and you simply get interrupted by the enemy. This is simply something that shouldn't be in the game, and they should get fixed, reworked, or removed. Just don't play Swamp Thing. And lastly, the Gold Catwoman, a character that is only good to be put in operations. Yet again, such a shame because she has very cool basic attacks, but unfortunately she's not going to be good for much. This was everything for the F tier. Definitely don't build and don't play those characters. Let's move on to the E tier. In the E tier we are going to start off with... honestly, I don't remember the name. The Silver Wonder Woman that is very hard to get. So, the thing about her is her only redeeming factor is the fact that she's got a shield. That is the only thing that has made her go up a tier and not be in the F tier list. She's not amazing at anything, not good at anything. She's a Wonder Woman, so she will have fluid basic attacks, I guess. And she's very hard to get. I think she was limited edition or something at some point. So overall, you're most likely not gonna have her, and if you have her, you shouldn't build her. Next up, we will have Blade Master Robin. Blade Master Robin is a character that is going to have fluid combos, pretty neat to play because he's a Robin character, but unfortunately on the long run he's going to be a terrible combo builder compared to the other characters, and combo builder is the only role you can assign him to. So he's not so low because he's overall a very terrible character. He's so low because there are much better combo builders than him that you will encounter on this list. Next one on this list will be Enraged Bane. His passive is going to be kind of useless, so will disable the opponent's block, but that does not really work in your favor. It sometimes works in the AI's favor if they have Bane, but when you are using your Bane, it does not work in your favor. He disables the block when an ability is used on him. And yet again, another bad side to this, you need to have an ability used on you. Honestly, looking back to this, I have no idea why I put him in the E tier and not F tier, but whatever. Multiverse White Canary is a multiverse character, and she is going to do almost nothing for the multiverse team. You can have some niche applications for her, like she will give a chance to the multiverse team to use the special one with no cost, and that can lead to some fun teams with Multiverse Green Arrow that we'll talk about later, I guess. But other than that, she's not going to do that much. You could argue for her to be put a tier higher, I guess. She could be in the D tier, but for now we'll leave her here. Next up we will have the Powered Supergirl, I think. I don't know, something like that. You see the picture. So, I'm tired, I'm sorry. So this is a Supergirl that is going to have, the only thing standing out for her is that when she uses basic attacks, she has a chance to be able to cast special one with no cost. But her special one is going to cost only 3 bars of power, and her only different factor from other Power Girls being the fact that she's going to be able to cast a 3 energy ability for 0 bars of power. and that can be triggered by basic attacks, is not going to be very much and is not going to get her any higher in the game. And I would definitely not build her because there are much better choices. Next up, there will be Silver Aquaman, and hear me out. I know some of you got a very good opinion about Silver Aquaman. Silver Aquaman is a character, and the only good thing and the very good thing about him is that he's got a hazard dot damage that is going to drain power from the enemy, and that is amazing. That is very good. But he is so low on this list because Atlantean Armor Aquaman, a character that you can unlock through farming Heroic Campaign, is going to have the same second ability, but on top of that he will also heal from his passive. So he's so low on this list not because he's that bad, but because of the fact that there's simply a much better version of him from every single point of view. Next up we will have Silver Deadshot. Not an amazing character. He is going to give some critical attack chance on his passive, and he's going to, I guess, be Deadshot in terms of his special attacks. He's not amazing in any way and he shouldn't really be built. Next up we have Silver Green Arrow. Yet again a character that is pretty decent on paper, but unfortunately there are so many green arrows on this list and all of them are going to be much better than him. He is not a bad character, he simply has better variants of himself in the game. Silver Joker is going to be a character that will have not really much of a use except for the passive that is going to stun a character upon his death, but you know my thinking about passives that need you to take damage or to die in order to trigger. I don't like them. Next up we'll have Silver Harley Quinn. She's going to give some damage on basic attacks and swipe attacks with her passive, but other than that she's not going to be so useful. Maybe you could put her in some niche teams and argue for her getting a little bit higher of a spot on this list, but other than that, nothing in particular. Then we have Sonic Black Canary, which again will not do much. But keep in mind that if you pair up Silver Black Canary, if you pair up Silver Black Canary with the Silver Green Arrow and you rank them together, then they would have a higher spot on this list. But we are going to take them separately and they are not going to score very high. Then we have Silver Wonder Woman. Yet again a pretty decent character, redeemable factor that she has a shield, but there are much better Wonder Womans to build. And then we have Unbreakable Cyborg, a character that has a passive that lets him revive upon death. Wow, so great. Yeah, let's move on to the D tier. Coming up to the D tier, we will start with, and yet again, throwback on the A tier. The characters on the A tier you could use for a while for grinding in Arena and Champions Arena, I guess, but on the long term definitely don't build them. And on the D tier we are going to encounter characters that are still not worth building, but for some reason they are higher than E tier, for some very slight reason. So they have a little bit in addition, just a little bit in addition compared to the E tier, but they are still not worth building. So first of all we'll have Batman Ninja Batman. He's going to have a passive that will rarely trigger and will trigger if you take damage, to be more specific if you take critical hits. So it's a thing that requires you to take damage and requires a random chance for the opponent to trigger, and that's going to be pretty bad and I don't like that passive. His first ability will be pretty neat. It's going to be dot damage that blinds the opponent and just follows him, like a tornado of bats or something. That's pretty cool. And the second ability will have a chance to let you use the third ability for free, but that's useless in this game because if you use your second ability and then you can use your third ability for free, and the third ability is just going to be 3 energy higher, it's going to be useless because when using your third ability you're going to lose the damage because you don't have the combo, and at the end of the day you'll end up with the same damage as if you have used the third ability right away. Also a redeemable factor is the fact that he's a Batman Ninja character, so if you pair him up with Batman Ninja Robin and Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd, he can still do very much damage in raids, because that's how Batman Ninja characters work. But other than that, he's not the most optimal character to do that for. Batman Ninja Lord Joker and Batman Ninja Catwoman do that much better than him. The other Batman Ninja character that will be on the D list will be Batman Ninja Harley Quinn, because of the fact that she will be totally useless and pretty bad. She still deals some damage if you use her as damage dealer with the Batman Ninja team, because yet again that's how Batman Ninja team works. But she will not be the most optimal to do that with, and her only redeeming factor is the fact that she will boost the stats of your Batman Ninja characters just by being in your roster. The next character will be Classic Batman. And on this one, I don't know. I don't honestly know. If you tell me that classic Batman is going to be A tier or S tier, then I 100% believe you, because I was unable to find footage of this guy being used at his maximum potential, and I just I can't fully give my opinion on him because of that. So right now he's on D tier, but he might deserve a much higher place on this list, and I'm just not aware of it. So I'm sorry to all the classic Batman mains out there. I have done you injustice. Next will be Firestorm. Firestorm is the character that you can get right now from the operations, and he's not going to have anything that good about him. He's going to have some dot resistance, and that's pretty much going to be it. A pretty bland character with a pretty bad special tree. Next character will be Multiverse Supergirl. And yes, some of you guys might rank this higher than D tier, but my problem is that I have used her extensively lately, and I have figured out that her passive that is going to reduce damage on multiverse characters that are lower than 40% health is going to be a little bit bugged and will not trigger a lot of the times, and that annoys me, and that's why I dumped her to D tier. You could argue that she's worth C tier, but other than that, let's just move on. Then we have Silver Gorilla Grodd, and you're going to be like, why is he so high? Because of two factors. First of all, he's going to be able to have a shield, and the shield is always good. And at the same time, he's going to be a Gorilla Grodd character, and Gorilla Grodd characters can do infinite combos. And that's pretty much my justifications for it. Next up will be Unhinged Harley Quinn. A half decent character. You can use her for a while as a beginner if you randomly get her from a premium chest, but definitely not a character to use in the long run. Third, and another character over here will be Telekinetic Gorilla Grodd, exactly the same reasons as Silver Gorilla Grodd. And the last character on this tier will be the Warrior Queen Wonder Woman. Oh, and I remember the Silver Wonder Woman was the Amazonian Queen or something like that. Yeah, this is the Warrior Queen Wonder Woman, and she will be so high. Actually, not really so high. She will be in D tier because of the fact that she's got a shield and she's got armor piercing on her special one. Other than that, she does not have any other redeeming factors. So overall, characters in D tier, still I don't recommend you build them. They just have a slight advantage over the lower bracket characters in my opinion, but other than that they are still not worth building. Now let's move on to the C tier. In the C tier we have characters that either are simply average characters, which is nothing wrong to be with the character, and or have very niche applications, which means they are going to be used in very specific situations, and in those situations they might turn out into the best characters in the game, but in the rest of the situations that are not that specific situation, they are going to suck. So, getting into the C tier we have Blue Beetle, yet again a character that I don't have much experience with myself. He might score much higher on this list or much lower on this list, so make sure to give me the feedback on this. Next up we have Brainiac. Brainiac is going to be a pretty bad character at everything except for supporting legendary characters. If he is going to be used as a support for a legendary character, then he turns into a very great character. Other than that, he's going to be pretty much useless. So that is why he is in C tier. Next up we have Captain Cold, the one from the Arena store. He's going to, I don't even remember, kind of giving some critical resistance to your team or something like that. I might definitely be wrong. Overall, this guy is on C tier because I simply consider him an average character. Next up we have Dark Supergirl. She's going to be a character that will be in the arena seasons, and she's going to be a pretty decent character for you as a beginner, a pretty decent damage dealer, but overall simply an average character compared to the other characters that are in the game. Okay, next up we are going to, we are going to take a look at Grit. Grit turns into the best character in the game if you are playing him against the Justice League team with a cyborg, and he can perform amazingly at that. Other than that, he's also got a shield that will prevent some incoming basic attack damage towards him. Now thinking about it, he might have deserved a tier higher, just might have, but we'll leave it at this for now. The next character will be Multiverse Captain Cold, a character that will have a pretty niche application of shielding your multiverse characters. In most multiverse teams he does not find his place because his shield is not going to be that amazing, and his abilities, while they sound good on paper, they can be stopped by an enemy special attack and made completely null, the buffs I mean. So overall a pretty decent multiverse character, not the best, not the worst. Next up, yet another multiverse character, we'll have Batwoman. And Batwoman can do a lot of damage. She can deal a lot of damage. But the problem is that there are other two multiverse characters that can deal a lot of damage. There is Multiverse Black Lightning and there is Multiverse Armored Supergirl, and they can do that much damage without even that as much setup as her. So she's not a bad character, she's not a bad damage dealer, but compared to the other multiverse characters, she simply can't score higher over here. Next up we have Nightwing. Nightwing is going to be a very interesting character, a very versatile character. He's going to be a jack of all trades, but unfortunately master of none. Next up we have Red Hood. Red Hood is going to be a very good character if you're using him in the multiverse team to fight Captain Cold in order to use his super move in order to prolong the fight. But in every other situation in the entire game he's not going to be good at anything pretty much. So overall the best in one situation, not good in any other situation. Next up we will have Silver Cyborg. Silver Cyborg is going to be a character that has a passive that makes him regenerate when he's out of combat. This makes him very durable and very good for Arena and Champions Arena, but not so good because you need to have him tagged out in order to regenerate and you can't rely on him non-stop as a tank. Next up we have Soul Stealer Dr. Fate. The only good factor about this character will be the fact that he can use his super move in order to swap the health with the opponent. And that is going to be kind of useful in Arena and Champions Arena, and also he can deal some pretty decent damage in raids, I guess. Next character will be Sub-Zero from the Arena store. And he didn't score higher because he's a very niche pick, he's a very fun character to use, you can have a lot of fun by cloning your opponents and playing as them, but he's not really a reliable character to play as a damage dealer or anything. And next up will be Silver Flash. Because of his passive that is going to provide fast attack for the entire team, he's going to be a pretty good support character because of that, and a decent combo builder, I guess. So this was everything for the D tier. So should you build those characters for the C tier, excuse me, should you build those characters? Most of them not, but you can build them if you want to play them specifically, I guess in some niche teams. And most of them are going to be able to be used in your team for some specific passive buffs without having them built. So should you build the characters in C tier? Maybe. Maybe you should build them. In some situations you should definitely use some of them, but there are better things to come. Let's move on to the B tier. So in the B tier we will have characters that are going to be very good in some specific situation, or good overall but not good enough to make it any higher. So first of all we are going to have Ace Green Arrow. Ace Green Arrow is going to be a very great character to use against Phase 4 in order to use him to power drain Phase 4 in order not to get killed by Brainiac's super move. And he's very good at that thing, and other than that he's pretty decent in other areas since he's got a power drain and a power lock on tag out. He scored higher than Red Hood because Red Hood is mostly used with multiverse teams. Ace Green Arrow can be used with any team that can fight Phase 4, so he's got a very specific role, but he's more diverse in terms of the teams that he can help. The next character will be Armored Superman. He's going to be a character that you all can unlock through the achievements. Everybody's going to have it, everybody's going to love it. He's going to have a passive that is going to give defense to your team. He's going to have also a passive that ignores the first ability that is going to be used on him. Overall, he is the definition of a balanced character. Next up we will have Silver Bane. Silver Bane is going to give you additional damage on your basic attacks and additional critical attack chance. And he would have scored higher on this list actually, if for not he is useless to maxed out characters. Because of the fact that when you build a character that is going to require and benefit from critical attack chance, you are going to build him with maximum or close to maximum critical attack chance. And when you put Silver Bane along him, that will make Silver Bane useless because he's not going to be able to provide that much critical attack chance to him. So Silverbane is going to be an amazing support for characters that are not fully built yet, but once your build is completed, you are most likely not going to find a very great use for him. Next we will have Lord Joker. He can be pretty decent in Arena and Champions Arena if you are intentionally pairing yourself up against Batman characters, so you can trigger his passive, but most of all he can deal a lot of damage in raids if used with the Batman Ninja team, because his special tree is going to be just so cheap. Next up we will have Classic Superman. This is a character that will be useless in Arena and Champions Arena, but very good in raids for some niche purpose, which will be reducing the defense of Gorilla Grodd usually, and sometimes Dr. Fate too, but mostly Gorilla Grodd. He scored higher than Red Hood because yet again he can be used with any team and he can be used on 2 different bosses. Next up we will have Emerald Green Lantern. Emerald Green Lantern will be a very good character that you can use as a new player. He will have a pretty good passive and he will have a pretty good second ability. He didn't score higher because on the higher list we will have Atrocitus, which has the same passive as him but much better. Next up we have, at the same time he's not really useful in raids. Next up we have Horrific Scarecrow. Horrific Scarecrow is going to be a great character as a support character in Arena and the Champions Arena, but he's not going to have many uses in raids unfortunately, and his basic attacks are pretty annoying and you can't do a tag-in after his basic combo, and that's pretty annoying, but overall a pretty good character for the Arena and Champions Arena. Next up we will have the first Justice League character on this list, Justice League Batman. He's going to be a good character because of the fact that he is going to give a shield to each Justice League character, and that shield is going to ignore the first special attack that is used on a Justice League character. Overall a pretty decent character, a pretty well-rounded character, but he doesn't chain well into tagging in with other Justice League characters, and he's not in the elite team of the Justice League. He can be paired up with Justice League Superman, I guess, but overall he's going to be a good character but not as good as just other Justice League members. Next up we will have John Stewart Green Lantern. Some of you might argue that he deserves 1 tier higher. Maybe I would agree with that, but for now at least I have put him at the B tier. He's going to be a pretty decent character. He's going to have armor pierce on special too, and his passive makes it so that that you can't get power drained. So he will be a great support character or even combo builder for fighting phase 3. Next up we will have on this bracket Black Lightning. Black Lightning will be one of the multiverse characters and he will be a great multiverse character, a great damage dealer, and the only thing that's holding him back is the fact that he will always live in the shadow of Multiverse Armored Supergirl because she's just a much better damage dealer than him overall. Next character over here will be Multiverse Green Arrow. He's going to be a great multiverse character to use in the arena, but unfortunately in raids he's not used in the team and he's replaced by Red Hood, and because of that fact and because of the fact that him as a damage dealer will be decent but not so great, he is only going to get this far in the tier list. Next up we are going to have Mythic Wonder Woman. Mythic Wonder Woman is a very great character, a character that I definitely enjoy to play, but unfortunately she does not have a role in raids anymore, and she's not even used that often with the Justice League team because even though she's going to be a great character who deals massive damage and one-shot stuff, the best Justice League team, except for Justice League Superman of course, the best Justice League team will be the original trio with Justice League Batman, Justice League Cyborg, Justice League Aquaman, and Justice League The Flash. And unfortunately she most of the times does not make the cut, but nevertheless she's a great character. Next character will be Raiden. He will be the god of Arena. He will be the god of Arena, one of the best characters in the entire game in terms of Arena. But he's not used in terms of raids, and I can't really say for him in terms of Champions Arena because there's only one character higher than him that I have ranked only for the performance in Arena and Champions Arena. That is also going to apply to the same criteria of him, and the character that we will take a look at the next year that is higher than him even though he sucks in raids and he's not used in raids is also going to have a healing ability, and that will give him an advantage over Raiden in Champions Arena. So I have thought it's only fair to put Raiden just this far. Next we will have Reverse the Flash. If this tier list was made some time ago, Reverse the Flash would have scored much higher, but unfortunately he's not used as often as he used to be used. He's a great combo builder, but Silver Bashy found Predator Batman to help her out. Other characters found Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd to be a better combo builder. He's a great combo builder, don't get me wrong, and you should definitely use him if you have him. But there are better things to use as combo builders, unfortunately. Next up we will have Silver Batman. Silver Batman is going to be a pretty decent character overall, a very well-rounded character, can deal a lot of damage in raids, can be pretty decent in arena, but is going to be a jack of all trades and almost master of everything, almost. You might argue for him to get a tier higher, I guess, but I'll just leave it here. Next we will have Silver Robin, and I don't think you guys saw this coming. Silver Robin's passive is going to work the following. He has a chance for his attacks to count twice at the combo meter, and that's not fast attack. He will have the fast attack of his own, and if his passive is going to trigger at the same time with his fast attack hit, he's going to get 4 combos added on the combo meter, and that makes him a character that is only second to Justice League Flash at stacking up combo. Next character over here is going to be Silver Superman. Is going to be a very good character, a very good tank because of the fact that he's going to ignore basic attacks, but unfortunately he's going to be totally useless in raids. Next up we have Starfire, yet again the same story, a very good tanky character for Arena and Champions Arena, unfortunately useless in raids. Next up, exactly the same deal, Justice League the Flash, great in Arena, great in Champions Arena because he can dodge attacks, but unfortunately useless in raids. This was everything for the B tier, now let's get into the A tier. I hope I survive until the end of this video. Oh, and yet again I forgot to say, for B tier, all the characters on B tier you can definitely use in some scenarios, and some of them can be used in more than some scenarios. Definitely all of them are worth getting to level 40 gears, and if you desire to play them, you can just get them to level 60 gears and play them, but I don't really recommend it because we are going to have even better characters on this list following. So, coming into the A tier, we are going to start with Atlantean Armor Aquaman, and this is a character that's going to suck in raids, it's going to be terrible in raids, but the thing is that he's going to be amazing in Arena and especially in Champions Arena because of the fact that he's going to heal, because of the fact that he's going to have armor piercing, and because of the fact that he is going to have power drain. This is one of the best characters in the entire game in terms of Champions Arena, and that is why he is going to score so high. But yet again, he sucks in raids, so if you need a character for raids, definitely don't build him. Next character will be Atrocitus. He is the better variant of Emerald Green Lantern. While Emerald Green Lantern is a better character as a standalone character and as a fighter, I guess, because of his special too, Atrocitus' passive is going to be just so much better and will give so much better buffs on tagging, like stolen power bars from the enemy, very high lethal chance, or reflecting the damage incoming. And he scored so high on this, even though he sucks in raids and he's very rarely used as support in raids, he scored so high because of the versatility, and you can put him in any team that you desire. Next character in the A tier will be Black Adam. Black Adam is a very good character in Arena, in raids, and maybe in Champions Arena, but why he didn't get all the way to the S tier is because of the fact that he's got percentage chances on your abilities, and sometimes those percentage chances can screw you up, and he has some weird basic attacks, and sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes some characters can interrupt your basic combo. But overall he's a very great character, just didn't quite make it into the S tier. Next character over here will be Batman Ninja Robin, the only Batman Ninja character on this tier. The other ones you'll see later in the S tier, but he is going to be down in the A tier because he is necessary to that team only to boost the damage of the team. Like, if you didn't need to have higher damage, you wouldn't really need to have him. Like, you could have... you definitely need him for raids. He and Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd are definitely mandatory for raids. But in terms of Arena and Champions Arena, the other two, Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd and Batman Ninja Catwoman, are just going to be pulling their weight much better than him, unfortunately. You could definitely argue for him being in the S tier, though overall he's a great character and you should definitely build him, I guess. Next up we have Darkseid. Darkseid is one of my favorite characters, and most definitely it pains me not to get him all the way up to the S tier, but I need to be fair when making this list, and Darkseid is going to pretty much suck at raids. And yes, he can one-shot stuff in tier 6, he might with some luck reach 10 million on phase 1 in higher than tier 6, but let's face the facts, he is not built for raids. He's going to be amazing in Arena and Champions Arena, but simply not good at everything, and that's why he's going to get only A tier. If you would put him in the S tier, go ahead, be my guest, I am not going to argue with that. Next character we will be talking about will be Justice League Aquaman. Justice League Aquaman is a great Justice League character, definitely in the damage dealing trio that I have mentioned earlier, and he's going to be great because of the fact that it has a passive that gives 100% armor piercing on basic attacks and for every Justice League teammate. And 100% armor piercing chance on basic attacks is going to be worth 4 talents on every character. Just think about that. Next character over here will be Justice League Cyborg. He's going to be the one that is going to be boosting the damage of the Justice League team, because what he does is he increases the damage the Justice League teammates are going to do on their basic attacks. He's going to be great in Arena and Champions Arena, especially at countering League of Anarchy teams, because he's immune to stuns and he gains power when he would get stunned normally, but he has not been so good lately at raids, unfortunately, and that's why he's going to be only A tier. But yet again, if you would put him in the S tier, not going to argue much with you. Next up we have Nightmare Batman. Nightmare Batman is never used in raids, but he's going to be amazing for Arena and Champions Arena. That stun on the first member of the enemy team is going to be amazing, and the fact that he can reflect pretty much any basic attack is going to be yet again amazing. One of the best tanks in the entire game. Next up, a pretty controversial pick, and hold on, don't dislike the video yet, hear me out. We have King of Wotan's Aquaman, not at S tier, in the A tier, because we are considering over here both raids, Arena and Champions Arena. And while he's one of the best characters in the game in terms of raids, in terms of Arena and Champions Arena, he's simply not as good as some other characters that made it all the way to the S tier. He's just not as good, because King of Wotan's Aquaman is going to have a passive that will make him deal more and more damage the more the fight goes on. And this is going to be ideal in terms of boss fights. In raids, but in terms of Arena and Champions Arena, most of the times you're not going to reach full power, unfortunately. If you wanted to put him in the S tier, go ahead, slam him out there, I don't care. Next up, yet again, Silver Banshee, for the same reasons as King of Wotan's Aquaman, a great character overall, decent in Arena, not very good in Champions Arena, and amazing in raids. Yet again, if you were to put her in the S tier instead of the A tier, I couldn't argue with you much. Next we will have the Silver Green Lantern, and this is going to be a great character because of because yet again of his versatility. His passive is going to make it so that your characters upon the start of the match are going to receive a shield equal to a percentage of their health. And that is going to be amazing, that's going to be extremely useful, extremely versatile. You can stick him in any team and you can do whatever you want, though it's not going to be just so useful in raids. And then we will have the whole League of, not League of Anarchy, Suicide Squad team, the whole Suicide Squad team with Death Squad, Suicide Squad Enchantress and Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. I don't yet have enough data for raids for them, so it's going to be kind of weird in terms of raids for them, but I have seen them doing amazing job in Arena and Champions Arena. So for now they are going to all be in the A tier, but keep in mind I am counting them together. Like, if they were not together, even though they are always used together, if they were not together they would score much lower by themselves. This was everything for the A tier. Every character over here is definitely worth building and definitely worth trying to get. Now let's get into the big league, the S tier. One more tier and we are done with this video. Let's go. So S tier. In S tier we start with Arkham Knight Batman, and he's going to be a great character because he's going to be amazing in Arena and Champions Arena because of his passive. He's going to give increased stats to the agility and stack characters, and in raids he's going to be also amazing because he will be a setup character for Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, And Heartbreaker Harlequin is going to be the best damage dealer in the entire game, along with Last Left the Joker. And he is a monster in Arena and Champions Arena, and he is a great support character for the best damage dealer in the game in raids, and that is why he is S tier. Black Manta, he's going to be jack of all trades, master of everything pretty much. He will be hands down the best overall offensive character because he will deal a very good amount of damage in raids, and he will do amazingly in Arena and Champions Arena, and he will also have a way to stop healing that will be very annoying if he's in defensive teams in Champions Arena. Overall, an amazing character, very good legendary character, definitely among the best characters in the entire game, and in my opinion the best legendary overall. Maybe your opinion is different, let me know down in the comments. Next up, we are going to have Batman Ninja Catwoman. Batman Ninja Catwoman is going to be an amazing character for damage dealing in raids, and she's also going to act very well in the arena because of the fact that she's going to provide her Batman Ninja team with that passive that makes them immortal if they are close to dying. So great in the raids, great in Arena, great in Champions Arena, amazing character overall, and finally a good Catwoman character, and we can abuse those very smooth basic attacks. Next up we have Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd. The second best legendary character in the game in my opinion, after Black Manta, is going to be a great support character for the Batman Ninja team. He can also act like a great second damage dealer along with Batman Ninja Catwoman, tagging them in and out and using each other's special one abilities. And he's also going to be able to act like the best combo builder in the game for any character in the game, because his basic attacks are going to give you power and also are going to reduce the armor of the enemy. So what does that do? It basically combines the passives of Dr. Fate and classic Superman into one. Amazing character, second best legendary in the game in my opinion. Moving on to the next character will be Dr. Fate. He's going to do one simple thing. He's going to reduce the cost of your abilities by 2 each time you cast them. So you're going to be able to use each ability for 2 less. Tell me one character in the entire game that does not benefit from this. Exactly. Every single character in the game benefits from this. No matter what arena team you're going to do, no matter... Actually, there are some teams that are not going to be put most optimally with Dr. Fate in them, but they would still in theory benefit. So no matter if you're in Arena, Champions Arena, Raids, you will need Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate will be always there by your side. And no, I thought I had identified the character that was missing, but I don't still know what character we are missing. So let me know down in the comments what character I'm missing from this, because as I said, I counted just 91 out of 92 characters. So Dr. Fate is going to be a very good character. He got up to the S tier because on one hand he's very good support, and on the other hand he's very versatile, one of the most versatile characters in the entire game. Next up in the S tier will be Entangling Poison Ivy. Entangling Poison Ivy is going to be pretty crap by herself and in all the game modes, but if she's alongside Last Left the Joker or Heartbreaker Harley Quinn as their support character in order to heal them up and to boost their damage, she's going to turn in one of the best characters in the entire game and one of the best support characters in the entire game. She's going to do amazing in raids as a support character for both Last Left the Joker and Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, and when you pair all of them 3 up in Arena, they are going to be an unstoppable force. Next up, we're going to have Justice League the Flash. Justice League the Flash, out of all the Justice League characters, will be the character that will deal the most damage out of them, because he's going to have 3 basic attacks, 3 fast attacks, and so when he deals a fast attack he will attack 3 times, but not only that, but he will attack 4 times, because his passive is going to allow him to have 1 additional fast attack, and that also applies to his team. So this man is going to attack 4 times when he uses a fast attack, and he will also be able to give to another character 1 more fast attack. So what does that mean? It means he's going to be an amazing damage dealer and at the same time an amazing support characters for characters like Last Left the Joker, Black Manta or stuff like that. Next we have Justice League Superman. He's going to do a decent amount of damage in raids and have a decent role in some niche team in raids, though not amazing at raids, but he's going to be the best tank in the entire game, hands down. And that is why he is so high on the list. Amazing in Arena and Champions Arena and pretty decent in raids. Next up we will have Last Left the Joker. And I don't think I even need to say much about this, like the videos I have played in the background so far I think have spoken already for me. But he's going to be the best damage dealer at the moment in the entire game, along with Heartbreaker Harley Quinn, though Heartbreaker Harley Quinn is going to be more reliant on luck with Arkham Knight Batman and the stuns. He's going to shred Phase 1. He is able to one-shot Phase 1 in Tier 8. Or Tier 7, I might be wrong about that. Let's move on. We are so far into the video without me saying any horse shit that I don't want to start now. So Last Savage Dragon is going to be an amazing character in raids and is going to perform amazingly in Arena and Champions Arena because of the fact that he's going to simply be able to stun targets when they tag in, and then he's going to get a damage increase for every character he kills. So from the beginning of the fight, he's just getting better and better. Next character on this list will be Multiverse the Flash. Multiverse the Flash will be an amazing character and an amazing support for the Justice League team. And if he's not in the Justice League team, he will be a great combo builder because he's going to have 3 fast attack hits. So if you're not using him in I said Justice League team, I meant Multiverse team. I'm sorry this took so long to make. So he's going to be the best support character for the Multiverse team, and if you're not using him in the Multiverse team, he can be a great combo builder for other characters. And he's going to give to the Multiverse team a lot of critical attack chance, a lot of critical attack damage, and reduce costs on their abilities. So it's going to be something like if you were to combine Bane and Dr. Fate and make it even better. He's amazing. Next up we will have Multiverse Armored Supergirl. She's going to be a very balanced damage dealer. She's going to perform amazingly in Arena and Champions Arena, and she's going to hold her own pretty damn well in raids, especially fighting Captain Cold, getting above 20 million damage. Amazing damage dealer in all the game modes. Next we have Predator Batman. Predator Batman some time ago would not have scored so high. He's going to be a great damage dealer in Arena, great damage dealer in Champions Arena. He's going to be a decent damage dealer by himself in raids, but he's also going to be a combo builder for Silver Banshee because his first ability is going to be disabling the enemy's abilities, and that will enable Silver Mage to just tag in and use her special tree. So he's not the best at anything, but he's going to be so high because he's just good at so many things. Next up we will have Power Girl. Power Girl is simply the same deal with Dr. Fate. She's going to reduce by 2 bars of power the cost of the abilities for your team, and that is going to be amazing, usable in any team in a game. And the last character on the S tier will be Shazam. Shazam is going to be a character that will be able to heal your team, will be able to reduce the critical damage I think you take with your team and give them more resistance. Again, it's kind of late in the video to say some horseshit, it went so well so far. And at the same time he will have a passive that might proc for free his third special, and his third special is going to heal your entire team. So overall, those are the characters in the S tier, the best characters in the game, and you can't go wrong with building any of them. This was everything for the S tier. Now let's move on to the part where we discuss the tier list as a whole. Right now where I'm recording, I have no way of knowing, but how long is this video already? Is it 40 minutes already? Because this was a very long list and it took a long time to make, a long time to record, and it will take a long time to edit, so that's gonna be fun. So, in this tier list, first of all, keep in mind that this is still my personal opinion. It's going to be based on my game experience, and I have tried to be as unbiased as possible. A thing that you might change is move up King of Tentacle and higher a tier into S tier if you wish. I don't really like him in Arena and Champions Arena. He's amazing in raids, but he's not just as good in Arena and Champions Arena. Another thing you could do is you could move Mythic Wonder Woman in the A tier because she's a great damage dealer, but I just don't find her a good place in any team except for if you pair her up with Superman, but yet again I don't have Superman, I'm a poor man, so yeah, that's why I hate on Mythic Wonder Woman, because I don't own Superman. So yes, you could definitely put her into A tier and you wouldn't be wrong. The D tier, E tier and F tier are just a bunch of crap combined and split into 3 categories. Like, they are all basically the same crap with very small differences. If you'd move Firestorm into a lower tier or whatever you want, I would totally agree with you. The D tier, E tier and F tier are simply don't touch that tiers. And yes, Multiverse Supergirl might be a tier higher. So this is everything I had to say about this tier list. This was by far my biggest project that I worked on in my YouTube channel. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you do agree with me, and if you don't agree with me, feel free to let me know down in the comments. So with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it, comment down below for any opinion that you might have or any question about Injustice 2 Mobile that you might have. Please, I would really appreciate if you'd subscribe for more content like this. We have established a goal. When I get to 2,000 subscribers, I will start live streaming. So if you want to see that, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Maybe hit that bell button to get notified for every single upload, to see my face every single day. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one.